Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace.
Protect your energy.
Welcome back to the Zen Trap. I'm one of your two hosts, Yogi LG.
Zen P.
The mission here at the Zen Trap is to inspire and empower people to continuously seek internal peace to maximize their personal potential. We are back for another ZTP Zen Trap Perspective. We got a book review for you today. P, why don't you let them know what we got today?
All right, we got a book review. It's on topic and on brand for the month. The month of March, the topic is sleep.
Ooh,
We've been talking about sleep. We got a book that we read. The title of this book is called Why We Sleep by Mathew Walker. Dr. Mathew Walker, PhD, just making sure. And YoGLG, you can start us out then.
All right.
What was this
general
book about?
overview of what the book is about is, again, all around things sleep. I have never seen a more comprehensive study. I haven't read a more comprehensive
And that is a
study
good description of it. It's a comprehensive
of sleep and all the dynamics of it, from the history of sleep to how animals sleep to how we sleep to the things that go into preventing us from sleeping, the diseases that are associated with sleep. The works. It gave you a full rundown of sleep. I didn't even know there was a doctor out there who studies sleep at this level. So thank you, Dr. Mathew Walker, for your contribution to sleep. What about you? What was your opinion of the book?
Same. It was very thesis format. Talks about everything from sleep. Of course, like the title suggests, why we sleep. And again, it even, not even hints at, it just says this is what we know from the research that we've done. It's still so much that we don't know about why we sleep. And it, what's the word where you give a disclaimer or
A warning?
Yeah, warning.
Like,
what's that word? What's that
like
word? You know, it gives it a preface. Is it a preface? It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
a preface.
they technically prefaces what comes first. I'm gonna tell you this first.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean though.
It gives you notice that, hey, even the facts that we're saying, this is how much correct they are. This is where all the studies are done. So it's very much, like you said, a theoretical thesis type book, all
absolutely.
on why we sleep and what happens when you get good sleep versus these amount of hours versus this type of sleep. So it is very data driven book of why you need the benefit of sleep, and just this is what we know about it and where we kind of want to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's jump into it. Favorite bar or section? I got a section, not necessarily bars. It was just a lot of scientific facts in here. So
I guess the only bar I can truly remember and take away is that they have, what is it? Your health and food and drinking or whatever, like drinking water intake and food are two pillars that you need for life. Everybody throughout life has been talking about sleep as being that third pillar, but Dr. Mathew Walker wants you to think of sleep as the foundation. It's not its own separate pillar. You need sleep to support all of those other things.
I think they were talking about like nutrition and physical wellness are pillars, and they try to make like sleep a third pillar. It's the basis for all this.
And the basis for both of those.
They even talked about like eating and physical activity cannot literally be done if you ain't getting sleep.
So that's the only maybe bar I kind of can take away. As far as I got a favorite, I guess, section as well. So why don't you start with yours and I'll look up mine.
Yeah, so ultimately my favorite, I would say, section as well. Honestly, I really enjoyed the section talking about like insomnia, narcolepsy, and some of like the diseases around sleep. Mm-hmm. People have like called me narcoleptic for a long time, so it's funny.
Never heard that.
Oh yeah,
I can understand why. Don't get me wrong. I know where it's coming from, but I've never heard nobody.
Yeah. So just kind of like, and then a lot of insomnia coming from anxiety and things induced within like your life and what you're going through.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed that section a lot. Surprisingly, I also enjoyed him just talking about like the non-REM or in-REM sleep versus REM sleep versus deep in-REM sleep. I wanted to know. That was something I was desiring to get to know through this journey this month, and I know a lot about all those levels of sleep now. So I really enjoyed that section as well, for sure.
I, like you, enjoyed the section where he was talking about dementia and Alzheimer's, just because people in my family suffer from that. So it was nice to really read up on that. I enjoyed the technology section towards the back on this is kind of what we can do with sleep for the future, how we can integrate technology, and what you kind of need to get a good night's rest. It's kind of just 12 common sense, I feel like, straightforward steps. So those were the two kind of sections I enjoy. Everything else kind of ran together. I do like that he don't sugarcoat. I love straight shooters. If nothing else, shoot it to me straight.
Shoot 'em
In the first couple sections, maybe even the introduction of the book, he said you can read any part of this book. You do not need to read it in order. He laid that out for you.
He said you can fall asleep while you're reading.
I
would be delighted if you fell asleep while you read my book.
And he was saying how no section is kind of building on each other like that. They can stand alone, so you can just jump around the chapters.
Any order.
I love that he says that and just doesn't let you infer that. And I'm sure we both did the audio book. I don't know if I could have read. I could have read the book. It would have just took a lot of focus to read this book because, again, it is very data driven. So if you are an audio learner, highly recommend audio version of the book if you're going to do that. And if not, I know he also does a interview between Jay Shetty and Steve, Diary of a CEO. If people watch that podcast as well, he does interviews talking about the importance of sleep. So I'm sure that'll be like the Spark Notes version as well.
I mean, I think ultimately I really enjoyed learning about sleep at this level. But you're right, like reading this would have been like reading a textbook. I'm saying I enjoyed learning about sleep. It was stuff that I was like, what? I'm Googling stuff. I ended up fact checking them on one thing because I ain't believe it, which ended up being like science has progressed past that, which I thought was cool too. That like, so I think one of the things in there he was talking about like breastfeeding and like when you nurse and how much alcohol can go to a baby if there's some alcohol consumption. And he was saying like there's like your baby basically you're not supposed to drink while you breastfeed. And like now there's new discoveries that like there's more alcohol in a glass of your baby receives more alcohol content from a glass of orange juice than they would like a glass of wine or an alcoholic beverage from the breast milk. That's newly developed, but of course the book was written in like 2017, I think. So some of the science may be a little, we progressing a lot quicker nowadays. So I thought that was really cool to even just like dig into and learn more about for sure.
The main gist I got from this book is if you don't go to sleep, you can be crazy. Like, that's the whole.
I mean, ultimately, sleep and what enlightened me is like you talking about resting time versus sleeping time. That's totally different.
And it's quality of sleep.
Yeah,
this
like
whole book
and
defines.
like me realizing like I didn't know this before. You get your best sleep in the early morning hours. So if you're waking up early a lot, you could be cutting off that time if you're not going to sleep late enough, right? So if you going to or early enough, so if you're going to sleep at midnight and still getting up at 5 a.m., you might have missed some of those
deep REM.
Yeah, that REM sleep because you cut it off early versus you went to sleep at 10 and you got kind of most of your REM or something like that. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, just the main gist and takeaways I got is why sleep is so important. While you're asleep, it gives your brain a chance to sift through data in your head, which is going to be your memories, how you retain information for learning, your mood, your physical, nutrition, want to lose weight, gain muscle, all of those things, muscle repair, mind repair. You need to be able to go to sleep to allow your body to do those things about why your body is paralyzed while you sleep. Just, again, endless amounts of data and facts that can be updated as they keep finding more information on why you need to go to sleep and how it benefits you. The section on being able to lucid dream and things like that. That was crazy. Low key, I kind of already knew that a little bit.
Okay, cool.
I always could say I could make myself dream just by, and this is a fun fact, works for me. I don't know if it works for other people.
Okay.
If you go to sleep and let's say whenever you wake up, limit your light. Like when you wake up, just don't move. Don't get out of bed. Just kind of. So I'll be more, I guess, straightforward. When you like wake up. So you first open your eyes, just immediately just lay there and go back to sleep. Or just lay.
Close your eyes, baby.
Close your eyes and just try and go back to sleep. Just recognize that you're awake and just kind of lay. I promise that second time you go to sleep, you'll start your dream.
Really?
In that second sleep. Now, don't let it be like an alarm at best if you can. Just kind of like,
I woke up out of nowhere.
I woke up, I'm just kind of just trying to go back to
and
sleep.
then see if I can dream.
It's gonna be like you're actively thinking, which is like lucidly dreaming. But what you can't do, or what you need to try not to do, is you need to limit light coming in, because the more light that comes in, that's gonna start waking you up.
Yeah.
So you need to really kind of be in a dark room, dark place. Even if you got to use the bathroom, try and like keep the lights off a little bit, or just dim a little light. Use your flashlight or something. Get right back in the bed, go to sleep. It's like 80% for me.
Every morning I get up and go to the bathroom. I cut on the light every time.
No.
That's so bad, ain't it?
Well, it's like kind of shocking you a little bit.
It's messing up the clock.
What's
the clock
it's kind of resetting it. Circadian rhythm or something.
Yeah, your circadian rhythm.
So
clock.
just again, all the information in there. Pineal gland with your frontal
lobe, all that.
What's good about it to me is you're like, why do I need to know all this data about sleep? You don't necessarily need to know it, but how you can start to protect yourself. I've seen other TED Talks about protecting your brain and brain injuries and concussions and stuff. All of this stuff goes together. If you know that all of kind of where you're sleeping and thinking and repair stuff is held in your frontal cortex, and you know that part of your brain, and that's not being protected when you're doing boxing, sports injuries and stuff like that, and now you're having a hard time learning or memory issues all related to sleep and brain injuries, head injuries and stuff, you just start to learn more, know more. You know better, you do better.
Absolutely. This is definitely one of those books where I wouldn't say you need to spend your time reading it. I think you should get the Cliff Notes to this.
I think you can do Cliff Notes and just be just fine.
Watch this episode, because we're going to tell you pretty much everything about it. Did you find something like for your loved ones in here that you felt like they could use?
I think if I can say it in my own words, let's talk about quality of sleep versus quantity. You should still try and get as much sleep as you can, but you want quality sleep. And when I say quality sleep, I would say is if you're able to go to sleep have a sleep routine. We talked about last time
sleep
randomly.
routines are
Having
banging.
a sleep alarm for when you need to start getting ready to go to sleep.
Yep.
I think if you know why sleep is so important, maybe then you will prioritize it for yourself. I think sleep should be just like what they say about putting your mask on or self-care and stuff. You need to prioritize your sleep so that you can focus on other people's sleep as well. So I know that's tough with people with children or multiple jobs and things like that, but you are literally killing yourself slowly by not getting enough rest. And it is really messing with your performance in life. And by performance, your mood, how you can retain information, learn new function.
Absolutely.
And it just makes sense. That section about driving, they literally
Drunk driving compared to drowsy driving?
One of my favorite parts, now that I remember that too, is where he lists out, I'm sure everybody has done this when they're trying to drive some long distance.
All the things about that. Yourself.
Hey, none of
Window
these,
down,
this is the list of all the things that don't work to keep yourself awake while you're driving. Don't turn the music, turning the music up, slapping
down,
yourself, rolling
your
face.
Yeah.
None of these work and keep you more alert. And we talked about that 1 second sleep of when you kind of just do that micro sleep and I fell asleep. Yeah, I got to pull over. That's happened
scary.
to me probably a couple times when I was.
Man, that's probably happened to me 50 times. It's scary.
That's my couple over a lifetime. Maybe let's say less than 50.
Yeah.
But it got to a certain point when I was like 23, 24 where I was like, this is stupid, Paris.
Yeah, I used to pull over.
Pull over. I kept
over.
a pillow in the car.
Wow.
Why am I in a rush to get here to go to sleep? I could not make it. So I kept a pillow. I would hop in that back seat or just lean it back. I'm about to get me 30 minutes, an hour or two, and then get back into it. Used to be drinking energy drinks.
I used to do trips from Atlanta back to Kentucky.
I had that Ford Focus in the wind.
I used to get up in the morning. I leave at midnight or 2 in the morning and get to work at 8. I'm it's 5 in the morning. I'm dying. I'm oh
dying.
My God.
I can just have 45 more minutes. I can do it.
I had to pull over at a rest stop. But I think ultimately, what the book I think shared for me that I want to share with my loved ones is even talking about how much kids sleep and how they're probably not getting an accurate amount of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
School starting so early. You think you would be grumpy if you woke up at 3:15 in the morning? 3:15 to adult is like 6:15 to a child, right? So I'm waking up at 3:15 every morning, day after day, 5 days a week, trying to recover from sleep. And then another fact that I didn't know, there is no such thing as like making up for sleep that you
There's
missed.
no such thing as
That's
saying
a
I'm gonna
myth.
catch
Like,
up on it on
I'm
the
gonna
weekend.
catch up on the weekend. No, that's just good for that day. That's it. Your sleep needs to be every day consistently. And so I thought a lot of my friends that have kids or like family that has kids, let them babies sleep, man. Let them babies sleep. I know my mom used to wake me up for no reason. Like, just get
Sleeping
up.
too much, yeah.
Just get up. I'm
That's
like, I
trauma.
need to sleep.
That's trauma all over
Let
the
them
country.
babies sleep, please.
That boy
To all the babies that
lazy.
got kids,
Why is
yeah,
he
don't
in
do
there
nothing. Let him
sleep all
sleep.
day?
Let him get a good amount of sleep. Get his 8 hours at least. Then you think about waking
What's
up.
your? I think we talked about this before on a different episode. What's your record for sleep? What's the longest you've?
Probably maybe 12 hours.
12. I got 16.
Oh no, I don't
got
even know if
16
I've made
once.
it 12.
Really?
Yeah,
I got to 16 and my mom woke me up because she thought something was wrong, which is
16
fine.
is crazy.
Crazy.
I might have got to
Crazy.
12 one time, and I was like, oh my god, I slept 12 hours.
My mama said she checked on me twice, and the third time she was, no, this is too much. You gotta get up. 16.
You just sleeping. How old are you?
Oh, definitely like 16, 17,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, I got to get out of bed. I guess my mama wouldn't let me.
And probably didn't just, yeah, exactly.
My mama didn't let me. I probably could have went like 12, maybe 13 when I was younger. Teenager, like basketball tournaments, all weekend I've been playing softball in the sun. Yeah, I probably could have slept 13, 14 hours. My mama did not play that.
It's just a parent thing. To me, where I'm from, it's more so, you ain't paying no bills in this house. I don't want to see you just in here sleep all day, and I ain't getting no rest.
But we also, as a culture, we look at sleep not as a foundation of having a great day, not as a foundation of being in good health. We look at it as it's for the week. It's
And I feel like they
they
almost think like that's gonna build into a routine. If you sleepy like that all the time, you just gonna
You gonna
stay
be
sleepy.
lazy.
Like, no,
no, that's not the case.
just be up all night.
All right, so is there anything you felt like I could learn from? I could benefit from?
I think, like we said last time, keeping from reading the facts and stuff with this book, routines, having better routines. It's something with me as well, and I think just as being an adult, and without the kids too. I think kids, the best thing that kids can provide in your life is you try to provide them stability, and it ends up giving you stability too, or routines and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
As a person who does not have kids and
no
coming from that,
routine.
it's hard. It's not hard. It should be easier. Something about being raised your whole life and being on routines that once you are kind of free on your own,
got your own routine?
you never really put yourself on a routine.
I mean, because it's like it's part of your freedom.
it's part of your freedom.
That's how I feel. It's part of my freedom of like having the flexibility to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
And that's all really ego talking to your head.
Yeah, 'cause that's
Ego
just a
in your
lack of
head.
discipline.
Ego, FOMO.
Yep.
Why? 9 o'clock. I ain't got to get in bed. For what?
What?
These days, I'm excited.
What?
Ooh-wee.
9:14 hit. If I'm going DD,
I
I'm
walk
like, oh, I
around
need
at
to be
about
walking
5
around.
o'clock thinking, yo, it's almost 9. It's almost 9. We need to act accordingly.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like, do you feel like you wake up at the same time every day?
Yeah.
You wake up at the same time.
However,
Within
it's
like what
when,
range? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour?
45 hour. It just depends on how consistent my nights are.
Yeah.
It's really dependent on the night usually. Now, it's going to take some consistent nights of staying up late for me to not wake up at that time too, to break it. So that's a good thing too. It's kind of like working out. If I get a good 2 weeks, week, whatever rhythm of just kind of going to sleep around the same time, my get up time is usually the same, my wake up time. But if it shifts, it don't take long to break it, but it got to be kind of consistent. It can't be like sporadic either. What about you?
I think I wake up at the same time. I do not go to
Is it
bed.
with an alarm?
Not sometimes,
Okay.
but not typically.
Yeah, same.
Typically, I wake up before my alarms, and it's 6
And I think they
o'clock
mentioned that
every
in the
day.
book. That's usually a good sign too of having a routine when you can kind of wake up without an
Before your
alarm.
alarm, yeah.
And I highly recommend that. As somebody who's tried out different alarms, I used to have the alarm where it wakes you up and you got to do 5 math problems for it to cut off, or it just gradually gets louder. worst investment I ever had. But don't get me wrong, it handles its job of waking you up. Oh, you never heard of that? You never heard
What?
it? And I'm not talking about some simple stuff. You can make it where it be like easy, medium, or hard. And when I say when you on the medium, you doing something like 35 times 6 or something. And it's 7:05 in the morning, 5:30 or something. You looking at the light. And
Why would I do that to myself?
You got to do 3 or 4 like in a row to make it shut off, and it's slowly. And now you just like pressure like
I just want to sleep.
And
That'll
it
wake
definitely
you
don't work
up.
if somebody's sleeping with you either.
Oh yeah. Dang.
But
that's
your brain
crazy.
gets up though. You
up.
I tell you, you wake up quick.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
But again, those alarms, just the shock you awake method is not something I would even recommend from doing it. It makes you feel anxious immediately starting your day. If you can get up 30 minutes earlier or 5 minutes earlier, however long it takes to just do a gradual wake up, highly recommend. Oh, and just the benefits of naps in the book.
Ooh, that was powerful. That was powerful. I think they did a lot of studies of like comparisons of people who we put through this kind of sleep and they perform this way.
Put
With
them rats through
learning,
hell.
with basketball players, with injuries, with everything. Like performance was better after they took a 30-minute nap or they got a 2-hour nap or we taught everybody the same thing. And they even talked about like drinking. I thought that was a good point too. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean we all know that
drinking
too. When
alcohol.
you drink and you can't. That's the only time I really have insomnia.
So that was one
But
time
I
they
gotta
did
drink
like a
super
study
heavy.
where it was like, all right, we gave people like the same lesson on day one. One group, both groups stayed sober day one. But day 2, 3, 5, we gave like one group alcohol. And then day 7, we tested everybody to see like if they retained the information. Even though you didn't have alcohol the day you were given the information and the day you were tested, they still performed like grossly like worse. Just having alcohol in your system and not getting good sleep the days after learning something fucks with you like total overall. I was like, oh shit. That makes so much sense. They was like, if you in college, so for anybody who's in college, if you learning something you know is going to be critical, you need to know it, probably don't even drink that week. Like, at least take a week of like,
Not
I'm not
even
going to drink.
The
And make
retention.
sure you sleep.
Sleep. And to me, if you were talking to 19, 20-year-old me, I may try and argue, well, if I don't pull an all-nighter, then it's no getting away from actually studying either.
Yeah.
You still have to make time to study. So
Still
that's
gotta study, yeah.
that's the hard part is you trying to light both ends of the candle. You trying to, I'm going to still go out, do everything I want with my friends, and then I'm going to still make time to study. No, there ain't enough hours in the day with that. So
And you gotta think about it. You coming from a place where like I didn't get a good amount of sleep them other days, so I'm in the deficit. You gotta consider that.
at
for
the
sure.
root cause of it is time management, to focus on that priority is sleep as well. I thought talking about what caffeine kind of does to you. Caffeine, and I kind of knew this, but again, just hearing it again makes you reestablish it. Caffeine keeps you awake because it just blocks your melatonin coming in, your
Yeah.
sleep receptors. So what really happens is just like any drug or anything that's blocking it, now that stuff's going to build up. So you're going to have a crash. And everybody knows the energy drink
Energy
crash and
drinks
stuff.
crash, yep, sugar
Hey, I was
crashes.
a little bit sleepy. I was wide awake for like 30 minutes. But after that thing wore off, you coming down quick.
Boom, plummet.
Quick.
Plummet. Yeah, so I think this if you do have like trouble sleeping and you're looking for some tips and tools, is this a great book to read? Absolutely.
Absolutely. All the
it's
data
gonna
you
give you
want.
tips and tools. It'll help you understand why you struggle with sleeping, maybe some things that you could do to help you sleep. I know many people have found things. I'm interested. He didn't talk about like weighted blankets and like certain like little things.
He can talk
that-
a lot about techniques and stuff that you can do.
Right.
He put literally a small section at the appendix talking about these are the 12 things you can do to benefit sleep.
Let's list those
I could,
out,
I could
for
talk about
sure.
some of those. And do you have anything that I could benefit from this book?
I was gonna say just a routine as well, but also, I mean, he really emphasized the importance of going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same
That
time.
is the one thing he said. If you can't take away nothing from this book,
Do that.
go to sleep and wake up at the same time.
Yep.
That can
That's it.
solve a lot. And just again, that importance, like you said, of making sure the quality of your deep REM sleep. So a lot of people are getting that light sleep. If you're a light sleeper, you might want to get that checked out to figure out how can I make sure that I'm getting like
You optimizing your REM sleep, and I
deep
think it's like
sleep.
3 hours of the 8 roughly is
Mm-hmm.
REM sleep. it was. This is what I thought was real cool about the studies. Is just like they talked about rats. Well, if you keep a rat from sleeping, they're gonna die, just like a human. If a human don't sleep, they're gonna die. It takes about 10 months. For a rat, even if they don't get REM sleep, they will die.
If you don't get the
So
REM
even,
sleep,
even if you get the
you're
other
going to
sleep,
sleep, but you're not getting the REM
REM
sleep.
sleep, you'll die.
It's
Same thing.
it's a torture method that they had to stop.
Yes, they like banned it. They banned the chasing the world record for not sleeping.
And that's
it's illegal. Like,
that's
crazy.
anybody. You could tell when you're talking to somebody who hasn't got sleep or when you drive. And that gets me to another just real quick point, which I'm saying this more so for us and everybody that has done it. Usually when we go out to, and if you've had a couple drinks and you still driving home sometimes, you're sleepy then too, on top of being drunk. Mm-hmm. So that is like
Drowsy,
just being
drunk
sleepy
driving?
is enough. Drowsy, drunk driving. You are putting both. Because now it's eat and
It's
you
2 in
already
the
know when
morning.
you go to sleep. Not go to sleep. When you drink, it makes you sleepy as well. And
It's
if you
depressing.
already and usually think about it, I know for me or other people, usually when you're going out at night, I don't know a lot of people that do what we do. We usually get a power nap in because like, hey, I got to get a little sleep before I do. But if you ain't getting that nap and you going
You been
straight
all
from,
day?
you been up since 7, 8. You ain't getting no nap, and now you going straight from that to I'm going out at night, going 10 to midnight, 1 a.m.
2, whatever. I might stop at Waffle House with the crew, get something to eat. So now
You
I'm
are
full.
on crash mode,
I'm
trying to drive a
crashing.
car.
Be
Just
careful.
be careful. Do
Be
not
careful.
do that.
Be careful. Drowsy driving is just as
It's
dangerous,
dangerous.
if not more dangerous, than drunk driving. And don't
Put them
combine
together,
'em.
crazy. All right. So first thing again, sleep routine.
All right, this is what you could do. Sleep routine.
I don't have them all 12. I'm gonna just say some of them
There you
because
go.
they kind of all together a little
Yep.
bit. When it's real close to your bedtime, watch out for stimulants.
Don't work out.
Medicine, smoke, caffeine, things that can block your melatonin coming in. Do not work out as close to bedtime. Don't work out close to bedtime. Within 2 hours if you can.
A lot
Don't
of
do
that is body temperature related. Your
Yep.
body has to regulate to a certain temperature to feel sleepy.
More so than just being tired from working out. You're looking for good sleep quality. Don't lie in bed if you're not asleep. If you're not asleep and you're not going to sleep, you feeling insomnia, get up, do something, try again. If you already
That's a
not
good one.
sleeping,
I like that
I
one,
love
too.
that one too.
That
Don't
was a
just
good
lie
one.
in bed
Yeah,
awake.
yeah.
Get up and do something then. You already awake.
And
Go do something.
don't scroll on social media.
Don't
Blue light.
start going into light and stuff and making yourself
Yeah.
wake up. Find something to do to relax yourself so that you can get right back into it. Yep. Take a shower or a bath. That's always a good one. Just like she just said, I've heard this multiple times now. You need to get your body temperature down 1 degree Celsius. So that's about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And to do that, the quickest way is taking a shower. Heat your body up.
And that's why
it'll
people
cool
say
off.
like they wash their face at night. It really just cools them off here.
Or a cool room.
Yeah.
So again, hot water, taking a shower, that'll make you get back to regulation of the room temperature. Waking up to the sun, getting sunlight in your eyes when you're waking up, that'll help wake you up in the morning. So it can go ahead and start that process. Yeah, and don't eat or drink close to bedtime. Those are the main things. And again, no social media, lights and all that and stuff. So
Lights.
getting your sleep routine together.
Yeah, I
It's really
think
common sense stuff.
that circadian rhythm was a big part of the book as well. So if you're struggling, I would recommend like if you're struggling even like going to sleep or waking up, go outside in the morning, right, and get sunlight, or go outside late afternoon and get sunlight. Let your body like actually see what's happening outside. If you work in the office most of the time, it's good to get out and get light. And if your rhythm is messed up, there's things you could do. You could wear shades in the morning time, and then in the afternoon you take the shades off, all that kind of stuff. All right, P. So any last words on sleep?
Nah, I think again, overall, great book, heavily filled with data, can give you all the information on why sleep matters. Again, don't necessarily think you need to read the book per se, but you could look at some videos on how to get better sleep and focus on you. Again, this is kind of what we all been
works for
talking
you.
about. Focus on what works for you. Finding methods to help make sure you are getting good sleep. How do you even know if you're getting good sleep?
I mean, I think it's a lot based off what the book
How do you
said.
know if you're getting good sleep?
I think he talked about like when I wake up, I can almost feel it immediately.
Same. I would answer the same way.
When I wake up, I can tell like, oh, that was, I feel refreshed. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the ground running. So I base it off that as well as my performance throughout the day.
Yeah.
If I recognize like, oh, I ran out of steam, I didn't get enough last night.
I base it the same way that Yogi LG is saying. I base it on how when I wake up, I like to ask myself, do I feel rested? Am I getting rest? Do I feel drowsy? By drowsy, do I feel sleep still? Yeah. And sometimes it's a difference between still feeling sleepy versus feeling like I didn't get enough sleep, groggy and stuff like that. Just not being a morning person. What about you? You got any last words, tips?
I think honestly, like, we have to prioritize sleep as a culture, as Homo sapiens. In your workplace, I think he had something in the appendix there that talked about the same way that we're affected by like self-care. When we talked about there's different levels of self-care and how we attribute that, organizational, like community-wise. Same thing with sleep. Like how we do that can be from a organizational level, from a community level, from a personal level, individual level. So even if you got kids, start now. Like prioritizing sleep for your kids, then prioritizing sleep for yourself. Trying to encourage others. P said it. You got to get enough rest for yourself first, but prioritizing in others' lives. Like, hey, mom, are you getting enough sleep? Dad, are you getting enough sleep? Friends, are you getting enough sleep? I would if I had a last word, ask somebody that you love and that you care about, are they getting enough sleep? Encourage them to get enough rest, good rest, and kind of try to find their zone of what's going to get them good rest. So please, 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 if I can't say nothing else, prioritize your sleep.
Agreed. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe if you can.
For sure.
Mixtape is out.
Out now.
Out everywhere. So
Zen
go
Trappers,
listen to
not
that.
rappers.
Yeah, this was powerful book. Just definitely gives you what you need to know about sleep. I feel like it was one more thing I wanted to say about sleep. Oh, we're probably going to drop a guided sleep meditation, which makes a lot more sense now. Sometimes I be feeling like I be knowing, hey, that janitor in that sleep meditation cleaning you out, your sleep is repairing you.
It is repairing you.
It is repairing you. It makes a little bit more sense now. Sure. Even what you said, I just want to end this with, I don't know if a lot of people know or talk about it enough. From what I see in my community is like the mind-body connection with sleep as well. Not only sleep, exercise, and different things. Making sure you get that sleep quality, again, kind of deals with that mind-body connection as well. I know a lot of times when we're in grief or we're very stressed out or very anxious, sleep is almost the last thing we can do. Mm-hmm. It makes you really hard to sleep because your mind is racing. So maybe sometimes we go to other things like gummies and sleep pills and things like that.
Ooh.
That's cool. Maybe temporarily. We ain't even hit on the sleeping pills section and stuff like that.
He did talk about that for sure.
So it may be cool to help you kind of get into the sleep as well, but it's not letting you still get that restful sleep that you need, and how sleep can be medication. Like your body can heal itself as necessary sometimes.
Sleep.
But if your mind is not in a place, sometimes, and a lot of times, not even sometimes, we aren't allowing our body to do what it kind of needs to do. We get in our body's own way, and by we let the emotional factor of our peace get in the way of just allowing our body to rest. So when you're laying down sometimes and your mind cannot get at ease or rest, that is affecting that quality of sleep as well.
Yeah, and just the fact that we talk about this all the time. Your brain is trying to protect you in ways, right? So your brain thinks worrying is protecting you, or overthinking about something is protecting you, and it's
some
not
life-threatening
right?
thing.
Yeah, like it's a life.
Right,
it's disturbing you from being able to release melatonin and go to sleep. It is important that you like fight that and be like, all right, cool. I that is not what I need to be focused on. My sleep will help me through everything I got planned for tomorrow, everything I got planned for the next week. Me getting good rest will set me up for the day, and I'll be able to handle all those things. But you gotta have that mind body connection.
Not a pillar, it's a foundation.
It's a foundation for sure.
And last thing for me that I like to do, and it's very similar to meditating, but I don't even really call it meditating. And it's very similar to a nap. Whatever's in the middle of that, they have a word for it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I like to take almost 5, 10, 20 even minute resets. If we are going out somewhere and I feel like I ain't got enough rest or sleep for the day, I'll tell Lindsay, hey, I just need to lay horizontal for like 20 minutes in the corner. I would just sit there with my eyes closed, and I'll even tell you what to do. I'll just sit there with my eyes closed, lay flat, and I just want my body to just relax, be as relaxed as possible. And if I can get a solid 20 minutes, maybe even 15, just sitting, I don't want to really think about nothing, or not even I can say think about nothing, because people get real confused when you say that. I'm allowing my brain to just think.
Do whatever.
Go crazy.
Ultimately, it's focused on, for me, it's focused on my body.
Focus on your senses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now,
That's
I
what
can
focus
feel,
on
like,
your body
yeah,
means. I just
focus.
want to be very literal. You laying there, your eyes are closed. I'm focused on what can I hear? What am I touching? Just breathing, relaxing.
Yeah.
You should almost fall asleep. And you can fall asleep. You got to set an alarm so that you can wake up. But that's where like affirmations and stuff, and that's the mind-body connection. Affirmations are just saying the things. Ooh, I'm just so at peace right now. I'm getting the best rest ever.
Yeah.
Just
this is the rest that I needed. My body needed this moment.
I feel like my cells are getting rejuvenated with the good ones.
And the positive self-talk through that. The manifestation through that. Like,
I'm about to be so refreshed.
Yeah,
Ooh, when I wake up, I'm about to be...
Exactly.
And
hey,
it works.
This shit works. We laughing, but this shit works.
We laughing,
and we know it.
It works.
It works.
And again, if you start telling yourself the opposite, man, I only get 5 minutes. I'm gonna be upset when that alarm go off. I'm about to be mean to everybody.
It's gonna happen like that yet.
All right, cool. You wake up.
With that
You get a
attitude,
little sour.
right.
You can be sour. But this has been another ZTP, Zen Trap Perspective. We're talking about sleep all this month.
Sure.
Stay tuned. I'm one of your two hosts, Zen P.
Yogi LG.
If you can't do nothing else, just make sure you protect your peace.
And protect your energy.
This is Zen Trap.
We out.
We out.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.